Welcome. Today I'll be discussing a tool that's important to have in your arsenal when having to deal with the narcissist, whether short term or long term. I had mentioned this tool in one of my previous videos regarding surviving a divorce with a narcissist. So, No Jade is basically an acronym. Well, Jade is actually JADE. Jade is actually the acronym. No is just the word, that usually comes before no Jade to remind you not to do the following things that JADE stands for. And No Jade originally was borrowed from the Al Anon community, and it works so well when having to deal with narcissists. Preventing the circular discussions with narcissists, because you 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, will get nowhere when you see discussions going back to the beginning. It can be extremely hard not to keep explaining to someone who believes that how they feel is actually reality, right? That can be not just difficult, but exhausting and confusing in such cases as with the narcissist. You see, narcissists don't understand because they don't care to understand. They have these occasional fake epiphanies that appear that they understand, but they really don't care what you have to say. So it's pointless. Narcissists aren't even listening to you anyway. If you're trying to have rational explanations with them, it doesn't make sense because they're not being rational, especially if, they're upset or they're angry about something. So it's best that you don't get sucked into this trap and feed the narcissist, because, narcissists need attention. And if you just go in these circular discussions with them, you're feeding their need for attention, and your focus is on them and this the weird salads that's coming out of their mouths from their head, and you're also feeding into their disorder. Narcissists, you have to remember, they don't have compassion for your needs, nor do they, like I said before, care. It's all about them. If they ever seem to change, it's only because their old way or some other type of manipulation tactic is not working with you, or they're not getting their way. So basically, if you're having trouble explaining something to a narcissist, you can use this tool, the No Jade tool, and it will help you greatly. Trust me, I've used it on many occasions. It's so satisfying and so relieving, and I admonish that you too take this route. So let's start with number one in the No Jade acronym. It is J. J is for justify. So no justifying anything with the narcissist. So justifying is about giving a reason as to why you did what you did or why you didn't do what you thought it was okay or right not to do. But you have to understand that narcissists will never think that the things you did or didn't do is okay. Their mind is already made up, and all it does is put you on the defensive. Narcissists make conversations all about how you did something wrong. That's basically what they always come back around to. So what's important when it comes to not justifying anything with the narcissist is that it's best that you listen, but you do not react, or you don't become like emotional with the narcissist. It's better that you respond, which is not emotional, and just state facts. And that's the best way to handle not justifying anything with narcissists. They're not thinking or rationalizing on the same wavelength you are anyway. The second acronym, A, is a no arguing. Arguing with a narcissist is trying to convince them or fighting with them. This is just counterproductive, especially with the narcissist, because they're so inflexible and they're not able to listen to reason, especially if it doesn't connect with how they feel about the situation or who they are trying to trick you as to who they are or who they're trying to want you to perceive them to be. So if it doesn't connect, it's just a waste of time. They're not going to listen to it, and they're inflexible. You just have to remember that you can't really get through someone with such a mindset. You have to realize and remember that their feelings are their feelings. They're not your feelings. And as I said in the beginning of this video, how narcissists feel is their reality. And if you don't perceive your reality as they're perceiving their own, then what's the point? Just don't argue with the narcissist. Number 3, the third acronym is D, and that's for no defending. You have to understand that justifying and arguing are often used to defend oneself. And the natural response is to defend yourself. I mean, that's just, what most people do. But with narcissists, anything should be expected. And anything natural is not synonymous with a narcissist. For the narcissist, anything that's natural is not correct, is not a helpful response. So you can just, eliminate the whole, well, I have to defend myself. It's just natural for me to want to defend myself. No, narcissists are not hearing that because it sounds too easy. It sounds too everyday or what normal people would do. That won't make them look superior, and they're not going to just cave into your defense. That's not something they're going to do. They're going to push up against the wall, and the more you push, the harder they're going to pull against it. So if you defend yourself with a narcissist, it makes the conversation all about you and what you did wrong. Narcissists are experts at this. Narcissists are experts at twisting, tangling, and deflecting. And the conversation just becomes hopelessly broken, and you just can't move forward in it. And if you can't get back on track in the conversation, then you might as well just stop the conversation or just drop it, because that's about as far as it's going to go. And you don't want to completely exhaust yourself, right? So let's move on to the last acronym, E. No explaining to the narcissist. So if you're trying to explain something to the narcissist, it's sort of like trying to describe what a rainbow is and its colors therein to someone who has been blind their whole lives. It's just pointless. It's just pointless. Your understanding of things is not like the narcissist's understanding of things. You might as well be speaking a whole other language. To have a conversation with a narcissist, just, state your point or your conclusion just one time, and that's it. And if it's not necessary to have the conversation in the first place, just, walk away from it. Because to the narcissist, it doesn't matter anyway. The thing is that with the narcissist, the way you're talking and the things you're saying, they just can't comprehend. It's exhausting and it's just a waste of time. If you have to tell someone the reason or the point, or explain basic concepts like respect more than 2 times, then it's doubtful that they will ever get it. And especially in a narcissist case, because they don't even want to get it. You have to remember that it's too important to the narcissist that their versions of things be the correct version of things. You have to remember that. In conclusion, remember, no jade, no justifying, no arguing, no defending, and no explaining with a narcissist. Of course, this takes practice, and it does take a whole heap of self-control, because it's just, natural to respond this way. And because in most cases in our lives, when we explain things to non-disordered people, understandings are reached, problems are solved. But with the narcissist, it just doesn't work. Nothing really works with the narcissist. Just do yourself a favor, save your breath. Just use your breath to talk with people who are actually listening to you. And that's what I have to say on No Jade. So hopefully that was clear and concise enough for you to grasp. And take some time out to review this video again if you need to. Hopefully it was very helpful for you. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.